Hiya, this is Jenny from Just Being Me, and you're listening to the Learning to Love Yourself podcast, the show that inspires you to put yourself first.
Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness. Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness.
Boundaries. Boundaries are one of the most powerful tools you have for taking control of your life. They're not walls that shut people out, but guidelines that show how others can treat you. They're a declaration of your own self-worth, a sign that you respect yourself and expect the same from those around you. Without them, you can end up feeling drained, resentful, and lost in a cycle of putting everyone else first, whilst you neglect your own needs. So why do boundaries matter? They're essential for your mental and emotional well-being. They protect your time, your energy, and sense of self. When you don't have clear boundaries, you're more likely to say yes when you actually mean no. Overcommit yourself and allow people to take advantage of your kindness. This leads to burnout, frustration, and a feeling of being unappreciated. Having strong boundaries doesn't mean that you are selfish. It means you understand that your needs matter just as much as anyone else's do. When you set clear boundaries, you create healthier relationships that are built on mutual respect. People who genuinely care about you will respect the limits that you set. But those who push back are often the ones who benefited from you not having good boundaries in the first place. Having boundaries means that you use your own power to create the life you want rather than giving your power to others. So how do you recognise when that your boundaries need work? Well, if you're constantly exhausted, irritated, or feel like you have no time for yourself, the chances are your boundaries need attention. Some other signs include feeling guilty when you say no. Or how many of us feel that? Allowing people to talk you into things that you just don't want to do. You avoid conflict by going along with others even when it makes you feel uncomfortable. You feel responsible for other people's emotions or problems. You resent people for expecting too much from you. You feel overwhelmed and stretched too thin. Not having times for things that bring you joy. And feeling like people take more from you than they give. And if you have trouble identifying what you actually want and need, then there's every likelihood that your boundaries need some work. So recognizing these patterns is the first step in reclaiming your power. So how can you set and maintain boundaries? Let's get clear on what you need. Before you can set any boundaries, you actually need to understand what your limits are. So stop and think about what drains your energy and what makes you feel respected. Ask yourself, where have you been saying yes when you really mean to say no? Take some time and reflect on past situations where you felt uncomfortable or taken advantage of, and use those experiences to guide your new boundaries. You need to communicate your boundaries clearly. People aren't mind readers. This is something that I've had a lot of discussions about recently. We all assume that because we think one thing, the other people think that too. And they don't. So you need to let them know what is and is not acceptable to you. Use direct and calm language. Instead of apologising or over-explaining, be firm. For example, I'm not available to take calls after 8 p.m. I need that time to unwind. For me, this is a massive boundary. I don't like taking calls after 8 o'clock because my head is ready to slow down. If I get a call after 8 o'clock, it's because there's some sort of emergency going on. Another one could be, I appreciate your concern, but I'm making my own decisions on this. Because people love to make decisions for you, don't they, right? And when people are pushing you past what you think you can do, I cannot take on any extra work right now. Direct and calm language. I'm prioritizing my well-being, so I will not be able to attend that event. Because, it's okay. We all have these things that everybody wants you to go to, and we even have a little bit of FOMO, I think, going on. But stop and think, actually, is your well-being a priority to you? I'm prioritizing my well-being, so I will not be able to attend that event. I need some time to myself today. Let's catch up another time is another one. You don't need to justify or over-explain, because you don't owe anyone an elaborate explanation for your boundaries. A simple and direct statement is enough. The more you try and justify, the more people will try and negotiate with you. If someone doesn't respect your boundary, that's their issue, not yours. So you need to stay firm and consistent, because people may push back when you first start setting boundaries, especially if they're used to you always saying yes. Stand your ground. The more consistent you are, the more people will learn to respect your limits. Over time, the right people will adjust, and those who do not respect your boundaries will naturally fade from your life. Or you'll let them go because you don't need people who aren't going to respect your boundaries. Let go of the guilt. You've spent so many years putting others first. Setting boundaries are going to feel uncomfortable at first. You might feel guilty, but remember, you are not responsible for managing other people's reactions. Your job is to take care of yourself. The right people will respect your needs. Overcoming that guilt does take practice, but the more you honour your needs, the stronger and more self-assured you will become. So you need to practice enforcing those boundaries, because setting them is one thing, but maintaining them is another. So practice reinforcing them in small ways daily. If someone challenges your boundary, remind them in a calm and confident way. The more you practice, the more natural it will become. Boundaries and self-belief. Strong boundaries are a direct reflection of strong self-belief. When you believe you're worthy of respect, you stop allowing people to treat you in ways that drain or diminish you. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They're about saying yes to you. Yes to your well-being, yes to your peace of mind, and yes to the life you want to create. If you struggle with the setting of boundaries, start small. Choose one area of your life where you need more space, whether it's your time, your energy, or your emotional well-being. Set one clear boundary and stick to it. With each boundary you put in place, you will feel stronger, more confident, and more in control of your life. I decided that I was going to set an hour's lunch break for me every single day that I work. That lunch hour can move, but it can't be deleted. It's in my diary, and it's one of the things that can move up and down, but it has to stay there. And you know what? By setting myself an hour where I'm not working, I come back to work in the afternoon feeling more energized. I feel like I've given myself some space to think and do other things. And I've had conversations with other people that is nothing to do with work. I might have even gone for a small walk. I do the things that make me feel good in that time. Boundaries are not restrictions. They're freedom. The freedom to live on your own terms. to protect your energy and to show up in the world as the best version of yourself. When you honor your needs and respect yourself, you create a life that feels aligned, fulfilling, and one that is truly your own. Are you feeling stuck? Do you want to be able to create a better conversation with yourself, but just don't know where to start? I offer a free 20-minute session to see where you want to be and how to get you there. Just click on the link below. Remember, it's free. Book your space. It could change your life. Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one. See you soon.